What's up, EV Clan? Alex Espion here, and welcome to the next episode of the Pokemon Gold Randomizer Nuzlocke. In the last episode, I started down this route that I am currently on, and in this episode, I'm going to hopefully finish going down this route I'm currently on, and end up in the next town. I don't really recall what town that is because we're getting to the point in this game where my limited knowledge of Pokemon Gold and Silver is being tested because I just have almost never played up to this point in this game. But I'm trying my best. Route 39, Olivine City to Equitique City. Okay, so I don't know which of those I came from. I don't remember because I recorded the last episode a while ago, and I don't know which one I'm going to. However, at the very least, that sign tells me that I'm going between two different cities, so hopefully one of those cities is where I should be at this point in the game. You know how Pokemon have different abilities? People are like that too. Everyone has different potential. Okay. Thanks for that. I mean, I feel like that's just common sense, but nonetheless, thanks for that. Moo Moo Farm. Enjoy our fresh and tasty milk. I feel like tasty is usually a word reserved for, like, food, but I feel like in Pokemon games, they use tasty to describe, like, drinks. Even though in real life you wouldn't really, like, do that. Am I being stupid, or is that, like, accurate? Maybe I just don't use the word tasty correctly, but I feel like it usually doesn't apply to drinks. Like, I guess it can, but, like, I don't recall, ever using it to, talk about a drink. I don't honestly know what you would use to say that a drink is, like, tasty or delicious. Is there, like, a drink variant of that, or would you just say it's tasty or delicious? Moo Moo is sick. I just feel like tasty and delicious both have, like, a very food connotation, where I feel like there should be another, word for, like, a drink that is good. Like, tasty and delicious are, like, good food. Something else should be good drink. Or maybe they just also apply to drinks. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being stupid. She needs lots of berries. Okay, so she's sick. This cow over here. Moo Moo is sick. She needs lots of berries. Okay. How many berries do I have? Is it enough berries? I don't think it's enough berries. I recall it being quite a lot of berries. And that makes sense, especially with all the berry trees that are littered around this region. There's a lot of them. There are definitely a lot of berries to get in this region. So, I'm not all that surprised. I would not be all that surprised if it takes a lot of berries. And I believe, going off of the limited amount of playthroughs I've seen of this game, because I feel like people don't play this game nearly as much as other Pokemon games. Moo, its crying is weak. Okay, I don't really know how to give it berries, but I feel like you can give it berries, and I don't know if any of these people are gonna take berries from me in order to give it to them. They don't seem to be taking berries from me, but I recall someone, in a playthrough I watched, giving this cow berries. I just don't know how to, because I'm clicking on the cow, I'm clicking on the people, and none of them are taking the berries. I have berries, why are you not taking them? I feel like I do need to give the berries to someone, and it will give me a reward. I just don't know who to give the berries to, and why I'm not able to give them berries right now. Our milk even goes out to Kanto. So if our own milk tank won't give us any milk, we're in trouble. Do I give the berries to you? I definitely recall, like, someone giving them giving them berries, and it being a lot of berries, but I just don't know how to give the berries. My milk tank ain't giving me milk, and no more. This here farm's got famous milk. Most everyone wants a drink. It'll give me lots of milk, if I feed it lots of berries, I reckon. So now that I talked to him, now will it allow me to give berries? Now that my main character understands the issue that is at hand, now can I give them berries? I don't know. I'm already bored of this. So, are these ones also sick, or are these ones good? I'd imagine these ones are not also sick, because, like, I'd imagine the sick one is the one inside the house, and that's why they're inside the house. Like, these ones are out grazing freely in the field. They're all happy. They're happy as your average Miltanks. But the one inside is obviously inside because, it is sick. It can't be out here. It's, like, cold or something. You know, it's got a cold. It's getting a chill. It can't be out here. Alex, good evening. Okay, hello, Veronica the performer. It's me, Veronica. Got a minute? Want a battle? It's not going to be a repeat of the last time we met. I'll be around Route 30. See you later. You will not. But, I appreciate the confidence. Appreciate that optimism. maybe you will. Maybe I'll be backtracking, and then suddenly I'll run into a trainer, and I'll catch your eye. I'll walk right in front of you, and then it's just like, boom, now we're rematching. I don't know if I can rematch a trainer without, like, actually strictly talking to them. I might walk past you, and it might not activate a battle. I don't know if that's how the rematches work, that you walk past them and it activates a battle, just like any other trainer. Like, your eyes meet, it's a battle, or you have to, like, actually talk to them. I don't know how the rematches work in this game, but I'd imagine there are rematches. I'd imagine it's not, like, all talk. I'd imagine when they call you on the phone, that actually means you can go rematch the trainer. But I don't know enough about this game to know that that's actually true. Would you mind if I bragged about my Pokemon? Because obviously, like, in other Pokemon games, in order to, like, once you beat a trainer, that's it. You can't really fight them again unless you have, like, the Versus Seeker. And in this game, I don't have the Versus Seeker. I don't even know if the Versus Seeker is in this game. Maybe it's not. Maybe, you don't need a Versus Seeker because people you have phone numbers of will just call you and then you can go rematch them. Maybe that's how it works. Maybe, like, the phone system in this game is effectively a Versus Seeker because it allows you to rematch trainers. Like, that's the benefit to getting their number, is it allows you to rematch them. Maybe that's, like, why the phone mechanic exists. I don't know. I mean, it seems, judging by, like, how people react to the phone mechanic and how no one ever, in a normal Pokemon playthrough, registers any numbers, it would seem, like, most Poketubers would lead you to believe that the phone mechanic is useless, but maybe it actually has a use, and maybe that use is actually, it's like a replacement for the Versus Seeker, or maybe it's just like a toned-down level version of the Versus Seeker that's, like, not as effective, because you can rematch certain trainers, but you can't rematch others, because you can only rematch a certain number of trainers, while the Versus Seeker you can rematch as many trainers as you want. I couldn't begin to brag. I honestly have never used the Versus Seeker. I have never been, like, so short on money in a Pokemon game that, to the point where I needed to rematch a trainer. I'm not listening to your bragging. We Poke fans have a policy of not listening to other people brag. Wow, you're pretty tough. Could I get your number? Unfortunately, no, because my phone is full. I have no more room for numbers. Oh, okay. Just talk to me if you want to get my number. Oh, that's cool. So even if you turn them down, you can still get it later by talking to them again. That's nice. That would further reinforce my idea that it's like the Versus Seeker, and, like, you can strategically register the numbers of trainers you think you want to refight. Because then, like, if your phone is full of numbers that are no longer of use to you, like, of trainers that are not giving you appropriate XP or appropriate money, you could just replace those numbers. You could just delete some numbers and then get the number of a different trainer. That would make sense as to why. That would make it make sense as to why, like, they allow you to go up to them later, even if you say no to getting their number, and get their number, like, then. They'd, like, have another opportunity to get their number by just talking to them again. Such darling Pokemon. Let's show our Pokemon together at the same time. Sounds like a great idea. If only there was some kind of name for that, like a Pokemon show-off, or a Pokemon competition, or fight, or Pokemon something like that. Pokemon fight, Pokemon competition, Pokemon... Yeah, if only there was some name for that. Sadly, I don't think there is. There's no PvP left for Water Gun, that's a shame, because we're fighting Fire-type. That would have been really useful in this moment. I don't recall what I used all those Water Guns on, but hopefully it was something good, because now it's a pain in the neck that I don't have them. Hopefully I didn't waste them only to have none for the Fire-type. That would have been just stupid if that's what I did, and that's why I had no Water Guns. That would have been unfortunate. An unfortunate decision by me. But, maybe... I feel like I recall, obviously last episode, as I said, I recorded a long time ago, so I don't really remember all that well what happened in it, but I feel like I only got Confusion fairly recently, and that's why all the PP on Water Gun is gone, but I still have PP on Confusion, is because I had Water Gun long before I had Confusion, so I was using Water Gun because it was, like, strictly my only stab, and therefore my most powerful move, and then I got Confusion after I'd already pretty much ran out of PP and Water Guns. That's why Water Gun has 0 PP, and Confusion has tons. That's probably why, if I remember correctly. I don't mind losing. Good, because I don't mind winning. So it works out. Actually, what do you have to say? Do you know about baby Pokemon? Yes. I bet they're just adorable. I assure you, ma'am, you'd be hard-pressed to find a mechanic in this game that I'm not aware of. I may not know Gen 2 all that well, but I know Pokemon in general very well, so, in terms of mechanics in this game that I wouldn't know, there's not a lot of them. I just got back to Olivine. So how about a Pokemon battle? So we got back to Olivine, he's saying right now. And so, judging by the fact that he's saying that, I would say that the place where we are right now is Olivine, or at least we're going into Olivine. I see a sign below me, that sign probably says Olivine City. So I guess this is like the outskirt of Olivine City, because if this wasn't like, at least, like, I don't think this is really in Olivine City, but like, I think this is at the very least like on the outskirts of Olivine City. Like, it's near enough to Olivine City where it could be like considered Olivine City. Like, I don't see the city itself really, but I'm like on the, I'm guessing I just like crossed the border basically. Like, there's no buildings, there's no infrastructure in this part of Olivine City, but like I'm there. I'm technically in the city. I'm just not like really in the city. It's like being in New York, but like you don't see. It's not like being in New York City, but like not in like the happening area. You know, like you're on the outskirt. Like you'd be like on the outskirt where there's like not so many big buildings, and you could still be in New York City. You know, I don't really know if that's true. I've only really been to Manhattan, so I don't really know how much of New York City is actually just like big old buildings. I don't know if there's parts of it that are not like as big buildings as Manhattan. I'd imagine there are, because Manhattan has like really big old impressive buildings. But really only times I've been to New York City. I've been to New York City like a bunch of times, but it has been mostly to see like shows, like on Broadway and stuff. Because like obviously I am a theater kid. I like theater, so that makes sense why I would go there for that primarily. But other times I have been to New York City other times, it's just most recently. But like the most recent times I've been to New York City, it has been primarily to see Broadway shows. Anyway, they're sending a Farfetch. Very underrated Pokemon in my opinion. I actually like Farfetch a lot. That's a super effective attack, I think. No wait, Fury attack, not Fury Cutter. Fury Cutter's the move that has Fury in its name. That's a Bug-type move. I was expecting, I saw Fury, and I just like, my brain just thought of the worst possible instance of what could possibly happen in that moment, which was Fury Cutter, because I'm a Psychic type and that's a Bug-type move, but it did not end up being Fury Cutter. It was in fact Fury Swipes instead, which is much better, but still did a heck of a lot of damage. So I'm wondering if I have any potions in my bag, or if I need to just like switch out, because I don't have any. Because I'd like to keep, what is this Pokemon's name? I'm sorry, Geraldine. I'd like to keep Geraldine in for as long as I possibly can, in order to like make sure that they get the XP that they need, because currently they are very low on XP. Like, oh my gosh, we have level 30, level 30, level 30, and then level 21 over here. Like, Geraldine needs the XP. And I will say that Nina needs the XP more, but Nina needs the XP so much, she needs so much XP to the point where I don't even feel like doing that in episode. Like, I'll probably just do that like in an in-between episode grinding session. That's how much XP they need, to the point where like I don't think I should be progressing while trying to level them up, because I think that will just take forever. I think because I'll have to constantly switch them out. I'll have to do like switch training because they're so low level. It would take forever to just do it in episodes, so I want to do like a dedicated grinding session, because if I'm progressing, it will be harder to keep them in, because there'll be less situations where I can, so therefore it will take longer. Meanwhile, if I do a dedicated grinding session in an area where I can like actually appropriately grind them without having to switch them out constantly, because the Pokemon are constantly getting higher level because we're progressing in the game, then it will be much faster to grind them up. Roar! Okay. My Pokemon were caught and raised overseas. They're my companions on those long voyages. Okay, cool. What's in this grass over here? I thought for sure there'd be something on the end of this. I didn't recall that there wasn't. Obviously, I could have seen, because I was up there before on like the other side of that slope that you can like drop down. I was up there. I could have seen, like I did obviously see like what was on the other side of that slope. But I just did not dedicate it to memory, so I was not aware that there was nothing up there when I came down, fought the trainer, and then like went back up. You know, like by the time I fought the trainer, I'd forgotten that there was nothing up there. I'd seen that there was nothing up there, but I hadn't really dedicated it to all that much memory. So like I think I saw it, but I didn't really internalize it. Like I didn't really pay attention to it. Like my eyes took it in, but I didn't process the information that there was nothing up there. And so, by the time I finished fighting that trainer over here, then it was just gone from my brain, the fact that there was nothing up there. So I just obviously went up there, just to check, even though I'd already seen, just not internalized, that there was nothing up there. Fingertips. Use headbutt on trees to shake Pokemon out. Different kinds of Pokemon drop out of trees. Use headbutt on any tree you see. That was a cool mechanic. I wonder what was the last Pokemon game to have that in it. I feel like it was Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because I don't recall you being able to do that in, like, Black and White, and Black 2, White 2, and I definitely don't recall you being able to do that in, like, Sun and Moon. I don't even know how many, like, trees there are in Sun and Moon that would be, like, big enough to hold Pokemon, because palm trees are kind of, like, skinny. What is the sensei? It's, Olivine City, okay. The port closest to foreign lands. Oh, that's cool. It would be crazy, it would make sense then if you, like, this is the port closest to foreign lands. It would make sense then if you went from this place, you took off from this place on the water to get to Kanto, but instead you take off from, like, around the Pokemon League, which I guess makes sense too, because, like, the Pokemon League is in Kanto. The Johto region actually doesn't have its own Pokemon League. It's just, you fight both in Johto and Kanto, you fight the Pokemon League at the end of the Kanto Pokemon League at the end of your journey. There is no Pokemon League just for Johto. Like, this region doesn't have its own Pokemon League, which is kind of weird, because, like, every other region has its own Pokemon League. Even, like, Alola has its own Pokemon League at this point. Like, it didn't, but then, like, Kukui established it. So, like, even Alola at this point has its own Pokemon League. But, like, Johto just doesn't. It just uses the Kanto one. I guess Kanto and Johto are just so close to each other to the point where, like, that's a compromise. That's a good compromise. Because, like, I'm sure it takes a lot of money to build a Pokemon League. I'm sure, like, it's expensive infrastructure. So, like, I guess it's just most convenient, since the regions are so close, to just, like, have them share a Pokemon League. Anyway, that thing you have, it's a Pokegear, right? Wow, that's cool. I call it an iPhone, but yeah. Okay, so here's the gym, but I'm being stopped over here by someone who wants to kick my butt, and it's Owen, my rival. ... You again? There's no need to panic. I don't bother with wimps like you. Oh, good, yeah, I was really, honestly, kind of scared, because, my Pokemon are not in the best shape right now. I need to go to a Pokemon Center pretty quickly. Speaking of weaklings, the city's gym leader isn't here. Supposedly taking care of a sick Pokemon at the lighthouse. Hoof, boo-hoo, just let sick Pokemon go. For a second I thought he was going to say just let sick Pokemon die, which is effectively what he was saying, but I think just let sick Pokemon die would have been, like, so much worse. Just let sick Pokemon go is like, okay, he's saying something mean, but at least he's not that brutal that he said the word die. Saying the word die makes it seem so much more brutal, even if that's what he actually meant. Like, I get what let the sick Pokemon go means. I get that he means. I get what he's saying is that he's, like, he means it's going to die. I get that he means, like, they should just let it die. But if he actually said the word die, that would have been so much more brutal. A Pokemon that can't battle is worthless. Why don't you go train at the lighthouse? Who knows? It may make you a bit less weak. This guy talks crap. Like, this guy is literally the meanest rival in all of Pokemon. Like, Blue is kind of mean, but this guy is, like, actually evil. He basically just said, just let sick Pokemon die. And as I said, he didn't actually say that. He said, just let sick Pokemon go, which is a little bit less brutal. But still, it's a little bit less brutal sounding, but it's the same meaning. Olivine City, Pokemon Gym Leader, Jasmine. The Steel-Clad Defense Girl. So this gym is interesting because it's one of the few gyms in Pokemon where you just kind of walk in and beat the gym leader. There's not really any puzzle. You just kind of walk in, and there's a, like, just walk down a hallway, and there she is at the end of the hallway. Olivine is on the sea. And if it's on the sea, there are bound to be fish. I've fished here for 30 years. Would you like to face the sea and fish? Sure. Ah, ha ha ha! We have ourselves a new angler! Okay, thanks for the fishing rod. I don't know if I will be using it. I don't know what gives you a higher level Pokemon in this game, Good Rod or Surf. I feel like it depends on the game. In some games, I feel like Surf gives you way higher level Pokemon. In some games, I feel like Good Rod is the way to get the higher level Pokemon. But I don't know what it is in this game. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe it's the same in every game, and Good Rod's always better. I don't know. But, regardless, I will probably just use surf because that takes less time. Just surfing around in a circle, waiting for an encounter, seems like it takes way less time usually than just standing there while it goes ... waiting for a bite. Fish aren't found in the sea alone. They go wherever there is water. Okay. So, like, if I could just theoretically find a fish in a puddle, like, it rained last night, and then the fish is like, there's water there! And so it just, like, flies out of the ocean, and, like, just goes over to the puddle. Just, like, jumps out of the ocean, lands in a puddle. He's like, this is so much better! They just wanted to be on land. Like, they had a big, open ocean, right? And they're like, this is cool, but why don't I just go in that tiny puddle? And so they jump out of the ocean and just, like, fly through the sky for, like, 50 meters, and then land in a puddle. They're like, yay! More water! In an alternate location! So now I'm gonna buy Hyper Potions, because I don't think I have Hyper Potions. I think I just have Super Potions right now. I don't know if I have enough money to buy 10 Hyper Potions, but I'd like to buy 10 Hyper Potions, because that is the go-to amount of every, like, normal item, like Pokeballs and Potions, that I have. I can't carry any more items. Okay, so I can't buy any Hyper Potions, actually, because I don't have any room in my bag. Which means that I need to sell some stuff. Luckily, there is a guy right next to me, right in front of me, in fact, from my perspective, because I'm staring in his direction, that I could sell stuff to. So, what do I not need? I mean, I could save myself some time by, like, going into the sell menu first, and then looking at what I don't need, then selling it, rather than looking at what I don't need, then exiting the bag, then talking to the guy, then going into the sell menu, and selling him that stuff. I could theoretically save myself a lot of time by just, like, already being in the sell menu while I'm looking for stuff to sell. So let me do that instead of doing the whole, like, looking through the bag, then opening the sell menu. So I can sell the Eon Mail. Definitely don't need mail. I feel like I had some more mail up in my bag at a different place. Surf Mail, up here, yes. Do I have any more mail? Light Blue Mail, I see it as well. I see that mail as well. I said, do I have any other mail? Well, there was mail, like, on the screen. So, silly me, not using my eyeballs before asking the question, but, we get there. I established now that I had some more mail, so that is 3 pieces of mail sold. Is there anything else I could theoretically sell that would be a good idea to sell? There's a rare chunk of brick called the Brick Piece. I don't know what that's for. It might be for something important, though, so I'm not going to sell it. At least not for now. I might do some research, see if I can sell that, see if it's something that is wise to sell. I will keep the berries just in case of any status that I need to cure at any point. I'll definitely keep the Quick Claw. I actually should give that to someone. I don't know if my Pokemon have any held items, like any of them, actually, right now. Apricorns, though, I don't need, because I'm pretty sure those are only for making Pokeballs. And correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm incorrect, and I've just done something stupid, but I think I'm just going to sell all of them, because I think those are only for making Pokeballs in this game. They might be for other things in other games. I know that the Cremomanic uses them as a common material in Sword and Shield. I don't know if it's just for Pokeballs in that game, but I know I'm fairly sure, at least honestly a lot more sure than in the case of Sword and Shield, that in this game, Apricorns are just used for Pokeballs, so I'm just going to go off of that assumption, and I'm going to sell all those Apricorns. So now I've freed up, I think, 6 slots in my bag, because I think I sold 3 pieces of mail and 3 Apricorns. And I think I still have potions in my bag. I think I still have Super Potions that I can use up, but better to be safe than to be sorry, and so I'm going to just get some Hyper Potions, because I know I already have healing items in my bag, but these are just better healing items. And I know I don't have all 10 of the Super Potions that I want at any given moment, so, I mean, I could just buy more Super Potions, but I feel like buying 10 Hyper Potions at this point is much better, because it literally is. Hyper Potions are just strictly better than Super Potions, so I'm going to, not buy any more Super Potions, because I could. I think I have enough money to replenish and get myself back up to 10 Super Potions, but I don't really need to, I feel, because I have Hyper Potions now. My Butterfree came from my boyfriend overseas. He carried some mail from him. Want to know what it says? Not really, but, let's see. Nope, it's a secret. Okay, good, I didn't want to know anyway. Do your Pokemon already know the move for carrying people on water? Maybe? I don't know, I haven't played this game in a while. They might. I don't think they do, judging by the fact you're saying that. I'd imagine they get it in the... I get it in this town, and I haven't really done anything in this town. Just kind of talked to a bunch of people, and wasted a bunch of time. But, I mean, listening to dialogue isn't necessarily waste of time, depending on, how you play video games. There's some really interesting dialogue out there. I personally like reading dialogue in video games, so, it's not a waste of time for me. Maybe it's a waste of time for y'all, but, that's unfortunate if it is, because, nobody has told me to stop yet, so I'm gonna continue doing it. Hello, laddie. The sea is sweet. Sing with me. Yo-ho, blow the man down. Okay. These sailors, I love how, I love how energetic these sailors are in Pokemon. Their dialogue makes me smile a lot. Are there any other places I could go talk to some people? There's probably some peeps to talk to in here. Crossing the sea? Then listen up. There are whirlpools on the way to Cianwood. Your Pokemon must know a special move to get over the whirlpools. Is it by any chance Whirlpool? That'd be crazy. Ha! Your Pokemon sure look like lightweights. They don't have the power to move boulders aside. Here, use this and teach them strength. You'll need Goldenrod's gym badge to use that outside battles. Okay, luckily for me, I have Goldenrod's gym badge, so I can use it outside of battles right now, actually. On the sea, the only thing you can count on is your own good self. I'm so proud of my buff bod. I'm sure it's very impressive. However, with such lackluster graphics, I'm sure they were great for the time, but lackluster graphics, by today's standards, it is hard to tell how buff your bod really is. Dark roads are dangerous at night. But in the pitch black of night, the sea is even more treacherous. Without the beacon of the lighthouse to guide it, no ship can sail. Okay, sounds like it's very important that we get that beacon back up and shining. I wonder, guys, what could possibly be making that lighthouse no longer able to shine its beacon. I wonder, he says, having seen many playthroughs of this game, and even played up to this point in the game once. Once before. I wonder what could have possibly made the beam in that lighthouse stop shining. Olivine Port, fast ship pier. Well, I mean, what has made the bulb in that lighthouse stop shining? Find out in the next episode of the Pokemon Gold Randomizer Nuzlocke, because I'm ending it off right now. Thank you all so much for watching, EV Clan. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Alex Espion, signing off.